Hey guys, Marc Ventura here. Hope you're well. In this video, we're going to touch on how can we get the absolute smallest deposit possible for first home buyers right now. And I'm going to show you how we can do that through the government's first home loan deposit scheme. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to jump straight into it. And I'm going to show you an example of some deposits for some different price ranges. Because I find when I explain this to a lot of my clients, they absolutely love this and it shows them how they can easily get into the market. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump on some different price points. I'm going to cover off on, say, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600. We're going to jump through, say, 4 or 5 different price points. Now, forgive me for my terrible drawing, but we're going to get through this here. So I'm going to try and go through as many price points as we can that we can fit onto this screen. So bear with me, we're almost done. So we're going to start at, say, 400K, 450K, 500K, 550, and 600K. Now, so we're going to talk about the smallest deposit. So I'm going to pop smallest deposit up the top. So smallest deposit and FHLDS. Now, why is this important? What is FHLDS? FHLDS is the first home loan deposit scheme. This is the current scheme that the federal government, so ScoMo, is trying to get as many first home buyers into the market and help as many people into the market as possible. And this is where the government is paying for the lender's mortgage insurance. Now, lender's mortgage insurance is a fee you need to pay when you don't have a 20% deposit. So it can be reasonably costly. And the government, since the start of 2020, is saying we're going to cover the mortgage insurance for you if you get into the scheme. Now, the scheme is pretty competitive to get into, but we haven't had an issue getting a lot of our clients into the scheme. And it can be really beneficial. Now, a couple of things on the first home loan deposit scheme is that you need to be, or as an individual, need to be an Australian citizen, or as a couple, both of you need to be Australian citizens. And your individual income, if you're doing this as a single person, income needs to be under 125K. As a couple or family, income needs to be under $200,000. So I'm going to show you how this works and why it's so powerful and helps shrink your deposit really fast, and why that's great is to get into the market really quickly. So 400,000, minimum deposit you need is 5% of the property price. So as a starting point, that is $20,000. We'll also then need some fees for some government fees, council fees, conveyancing fees. So I always put in, say, roughly another $3,000 for those fees. So for those council, government, and conveyancing fees. And that essentially gets us to a deposit of 23 grand. And that type of thing. Now, if you're purchasing land and building or buying something off the plan, so brand new, where you can get the first homeowners grant, the first homeowners grant can actually come off that. So you could take off $10,000, so minus 10,000, and you could get in at 13 grand. And that type of thing. Now, if we're at 450, so 5% deposit is always the starting point, because the minimum deposit is 5% under the scheme. So 5% of the property price. So at 450 is $22,500, plus those government fees and charges of the 3 grand. All of a sudden, we're at $25,500, less the first homeowners grant. If you're building, is essentially, excuse me, I buggered that one up right there. Let's fix that up. We're at $15,500. Now, if you're buying an established property, and you don't get the first time homeowners grant, that's fine. That doesn't matter. It's still 25,500 grand. Makes it super easy for you to get into the market and that type of thing. So again, 5% of the property price at 500, that's $25,000. I reckon everyone's getting the gist now. Plus the government fees and charges, let's say it's around 3,000, you're getting in for $28,000 on an established property. Now, if it's a first homeowners grant, if you're buying land and building, you can take off the first homeowners grant. All of a sudden, we're at 18. Now, I know nearly everyone can make that work. I've just dropped my pen. I'll be back in a sec. Sorry, guys. Now, the next price point's at 550. So 5% deposit of the property price, 27,500, plus the government fees and charges and council fees. Let's add another 3 grand there. and we're now up to 30,500. Again, it's so easy. Most people can easily make this work. That I've come across. I've helped almost 1,000 first-time buyers over the last 7 years, and everyone can do this, regardless of how much your income, how much you're earning. So that 30,500 for an established property, if you're building less 10 in the first homeowners grant, all of a sudden we're at $20,500. Now, if you really want to buy, I know you can do this. And then the last one, we'll finish off on the last one at 600,000, 5% of the property price. So we're at 30 grand, $30,000 is 5%. Plus the 3,000 in government fees and charges, we're at $33,000 to get into our first home. If it's an established home, we can take another 10 grand off if it's a house and land package, because getting the first homeowners grant. So it's all of a sudden $23,000 to get into your new house. So what I say to most people is don't listen to any of the crap information you hear online about needing 20% deposits, 10% deposits. If you're a first home buyer, you're a citizen of Australia, and you're earning under those income limits, you can make this happen straight away. So any questions, please reach out. We'd love to chat to you and help you to get you into your first home. Speak to you soon. Cheers.